The single staffing tool is a streamlined hiring process. Supervisors previously have received multiple certificates of internal and external candidates. The single staffing tool not only will combine all of your applicants on one certificate, but it will also reduce the amount of time it will take for a certificate to be issued to you in order to fill your vacancy. How this works is previously internal candidates would go out to the AFPC Secure website and press a button in order to receive, to apply and receive consideration because their experience was skills coded. That process has now ceased for the majority of bases, and a candidate now, both internal or external, must have a resume pre-formatted out on the USA Jobs. When a supervisor submits a request for a position to be filled, it will be advertised out on USA Jobs. The candidate, internal or external, will go out there and review and submit a resume. What this does is it allows the supervisor to have the same format to look at for every candidate instead of having career briefs for some and resumes for others. Because over previous years, supervisors have complained that internal candidates, there's really not a lot of information. It's just 5 sheets of paper, name, 3 numbered skill codes, and some performance elements documented. Whereas the external candidates had the opportunity to highlight the skills as it relates to the position that they're applying for. It is a more level playing field for all candidates. Now we all, we all have the opportunity to submit a resume and highlight the skills in lieu of that career brief that only gave a title and a skill, which if the supervisor didn't know what that skill meant, it meant exactly that, nothing. And there was a lot more research had to be done for internal candidates, i.e. phone conversations with current supervisors or maybe interviews, whereas now the employee has the responsibility to highlight their skills because not everything can be skills coded. We all do things outside of our job that has not received the skill coding to give credit. External candidates are people for the Air Force that don't currently work for the Air Force. They are other DoD employees, or they are people that have never worked for civil service. They're either, they can apply through a multitude of appointing authorities depending on what their eligibility is. An internal candidate for us is somebody that currently works in the Air Force somewhere in the world. The role would be pretty much the same. You would put in your request to fill. It would be announced. The candidates would apply. And you then, as the supervisor, would receive one certificate. Whereas previously, as I mentioned, you would receive multiple certificates. Now you receive one certificate, one user ID, and one password. And all the veterans' preference, all the eligibility to be referred has already been predetermined prior to that certificate being issued to you. So once you get that certificate, you can, in effect, hire anybody that you see on that certificate. And the certificate will tell you what their category is, whether they're an internal applicant or an external applicant. And you don't have to interview. I mean, now, you will hopefully have more background information on the internal candidates if you're only asking for some internal candidates. But your supervisor always has the ability and the right to interview, be it face-to-face or over the phone, depending on where the applicant is located. One of the biggest things about the single staffing tool is the reduction in time. Most supervisors know that the lengthy time that it has taken from the time of sending in the RPA to request to the time somebody comes on board, the OPM's goal is 80 days. Currently, supervisors have 45 days or had 45 days in which to make a selection. That is going to be reduced down to 30 days. So hopefully that will help eliminate and bring down the amount of time it takes to bring people on board. We have a lot of problems with supervisors receiving certificates, and then they've got other priorities, and then at the very last minute, when the day the cert's fixing to expire, finally opening it up and then finding they're having problems and issues. So hopefully the supervisors need to take responsibility when they get the certificates to move on it immediately. We have 2 points of contact. You can call the Total Service Center at Randolph, or they're available on the website, or you can go to your civilian personnel service office, who will have the information, phone numbers, emails, and contacts for you to assist you in if you're having any problems with either the website or with able to get your resume online.